Welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. I'm Kristie.
And I'm Josh, and today's episode is all about assholes on airplanes. Let's take off for the first story.
Am I the asshole for pretending not to know my fiancé after she had a meltdown during boarding the plane and was eventually thrown off?
I mean, I guess I can't blame you for not wanting to be involved in a situation, but does that mean that you are just now in a completely different location than her? Because did you leave her in a strange environment? I don't know. It seems like you needed to go with her, but let's hear the story.
I imagine I'm going to get raked over the coals for this one. So my fiancé, maybe not for much longer, and I were on our way back from a vacation recently. It was a great time and everything went off without an issue. That is, until we started boarding the plane. Now, I know better. I only bring a small backpack with essentials in case I don't get my checked bags. I can survive out of this backpack, and it will always pass baggage check for size and weight. I've done a lot of traveling, so why fight the system? My fiancé didn't want to listen to my advice and chose to bring basically a regular full-size bag that barely fits the standards of carry-on, but generally speaking, the airline worker doesn't want to deal with the trouble and allows it through. But this time, the airline worker was not having it.
That's not at all my experience with airline workers, because they take every damn thing they can from us.
Yes, they're always like, we will check your carry-ons. And I'm like, do you have to?
Yeah, if it doesn't fit under the seat in front of me, they will try to pry it from my hands. Like, they are very aggressive about that fact.
It was a packed flight. We were boarding last in economy, and it was just a shit show. I got through just fine first with my little backpack, but I could hear the argument from the boarding tunnel thingy, and it was getting heated. I was about to go back and try to smooth it out, but my fiancé rushed past and just boarded the plane. I assumed, not having heard it super clearly, that the attendant had given in and let her on. That was not the case.
Oh no, she tried to rush an airplane? You can't rush airplanes anymore.
So we found our seats and settled in. I was pretty tired and I could tell she was upset, so I just kind of tucked into the window and put my hat down and tried to take a nap.
That's not a great reaction to when your fiancé is upset, but okay.
But soon after, the airline worker and a cop shows up, and they are not fucking around and want her off the plane. She tries to plead and cry, etc., but they are not having it. And maybe in a moment of panic or just plain self-preservation, the cop asks if we're together, and I blurt out, "No!" shaking my head emphatically.
You just ditched her on the spot.
I got kill dagger eyes from her as she shot up and grabbed her bag and followed the cop out. She was also swearing and screaming the whole way out.
This is a very reasonable way to react when they just want you to check your bag.
I hope that was sarcastic. Now, obviously, this is well after the event I'm posting this, but when she did eventually get home, she caught the next flight out with the bag checked, LOL. I was there to pick her up. She obviously thought I was the asshole, and to be honest, almost everyone I know thinks I'm an asshole, except my boss and coworkers, who for context were very much relying on me to be back on time, which I gave my word I would, for a really important project that was time sensitive. They were all very happy I didn't get thrown off too. So, am I the asshole for this self-preservation?
Honestly, I think you're the asshole here, man. I'm sorry. I don't care if your work would have been inconvenienced. You don't ditch your fiancé, even if she's having some kind of flip out. Also, it's goddamn amazing that they let her get on another flight.
I know, right? I thought they would ban her forever because, she's throwing a fit and cursing and swearing at them as they're trying to escort her off the plane.
Yeah, she rushed past security, it sounds like.
Or at least the boarding attendants, yeah.
Yeah, so she was obviously acting insane, and OP knows that.
Yeah, she was definitely an asshole. That is not how you behave on a plane. Has she never flown before and never, watched the news or anything?
Yeah, you don't have rights on an airplane.
No! You do whatever they ask you to do. Calmly. Very calmly. No screaming, please.
Because I think the people enforcing the rules on an airplane are looking for reasons to overreact to everything. Having said that, though, yeah, you probably should have said yes and calmly followed after. Even if it's just to play mediator and to try to be the rational person in the room.
Reddit disagrees. Everybody thinks he is not the asshole.
Is Reddit just not familiar with how marriage works? Because you're with that person through thick and thin, good and bad, and things are bad right now.
They're not married yet, and the reason it's bad is entirely her fault, and she's making it worse.
Oh, I'm aware, but for one, they're engaged. So he's planning on marrying this person, so that rule still applies now, I think. And two, I'm aware it's entirely her fault. She's a huge asshole for the way she's acting right now. It's not the end of the world if you have to check a bag. Having said that, if she makes an honest mistake, are you also going to ditch her? I feel like I wouldn't want to marry somebody who just abandons me the second things are going bad. Who just lets cops haul me off and just says, I don't know this person.
I do think that, no, I don't know her is a little bit over the line, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think the cop was going to, like, punch you or anything. You could have just been like, yeah, I'm going to follow after.
But he didn't want to be delayed. He needed to get back to work.
Yeah, right? Like, apparently work is more important to him than his fiancé.
His fiancé, like, getting arrested.
Yeah, right? That is a good reason to miss work the next day.
Top comment, NTA, get out while you still can. This is how she'll be forever. She'll never learn from this experience.
Okay. Sorry, that gave me a lot of perspective into Reddit's thoughts on this. They're saying NTA because you should just dump her ass.
Yeah, they don't think he should stay with her. And also, he did say, my fiancé, maybe not for much longer, in parentheses.
Yeah, well, I heard that, but I assumed that meant she was going to dump his ass because he backstabbed her so hard on this airplane.
Oh, yeah, I was not thinking that way. I was thinking he's like, dude, she is crazy. I don't think I want to marry her and be tied to her for life.
Right. So I was not thinking of this in terms of, Reddit's default stance of you should break up with everyone you love and live a solitary life in a cave.
If they do one little thing wrong, break up.
Yeah. Now, this is not a little thing wrong.
No, this is pretty big.
But I think that if you don't stand with your fiancé, that makes you the asshole.
But some people do think she might learn from this. Nothing like the humiliation of a cop escorting you off a plane to learn that rules really are a thing. Loss of time, money, and public humiliation are very powerful teachers. And now OP can reference this whenever she forgets her social decorum. Acting up in a restaurant? Geez, I hope they don't escort you out of here like they did off that plane.
You see, this is the type of behavior that will make that not for much longer thing come true. Really rub it in her face that she had a freak out on an airplane.
Another comment. Honestly, I was ready to rake you over the coals, but now I'm thinking NTA. This isn't like your fiancé had an anxiety attack over fear of flying. It sounds to me like a full-on grown woman temper tantrum, which only happened because she didn't listen to your travel advice. To be fair, I don't travel light either, but I also don't try to put my giant luggage in the overhead bins. She did this to herself.
I don't know if I'm willing to safely say that this wasn't some kind of airplane-induced anxiety. And she just could not accept this part of her plan changing, and everything's bad, and this airplane is unsafe. I don't know. If I'm panicking about something, my brain might work in that logic stream. It does kind of sound like she was just being entitled about them taking her bag.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I can rule out, panic attack.
Yeah, like sometimes I have a mental plan of how things are going to go. And when something makes that plan deviate, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
This is not okay.
Yeah, everything else is now bad. Suddenly, I don't have confidence that the pilot can handle this airplane anymore because I don't have my bag. And I also am going to add in, I think if this was just your friend having a flip out on the airplane, I might call you not the asshole for ditching your friend.
Yeah, I definitely think not the asshole for ditching your friend. But if it's your children or wife or fiance...
Yeah, you're pushing your luck there, and I think that you're an asshole for not sticking with them. And she's justified if she chooses not to marry you.
I do think that Reddit seems to think that this is his fiance's entire personality. And we have no evidence that this is not just the one single time that she has had a flip out like this.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. She likely has many redeeming qualities that would make OP want to marry her. I don't think that he would want to marry someone whose only personality trait is...
entitled?
Yeah, entitled and flips out on airplanes.
But Reddit people are thinking, NTA, and please seriously consider whether you want events like this to be a normal part of your life, because someone who reacts like that when she knows she is in the wrong is not going to change. Although if not for the work thing, and if you wanted to save the relationship, you probably should have gotten off with her. Not because she was anyway in the right, but because she's going to hold this over your head and sulk for a very long time.
She is absolutely allowed to do that too. I don't even know why OP would put that damning evidence of I had to go back to work in the thing, because that really solidified you're the asshole for me. Who cares? Are you signing a $1 million deal and multiple people's paychecks rely on you getting back in time for this project? Is the project's deadline so damn tight that you couldn't work a few extra hours when you got back a couple days late?
A really important project that was time sensitive. That's all the info we get, so I don't know.
That's every project. Every project is really important to somebody, and it's always time sensitive.
But I do totally get not wanting to have to deal with the hassle of airport security and getting out of this situation. Because this is not his fault. I'd be like, I don't want anything to do with this. But it's your fiancé.
Oh, absolutely. I don't want to go and deal with security, but that is my life now. I don't get to be like, hey, my wife had some kind of mental breakdown and had to be dragged off an airplane. I don't just be like, well, not my problem. No, that's my circus. That is my monkey being dragged away.
Okay, I cannot find any people saying that he is the asshole. I did find some everyone sucks here, which I do actually think is what we are saying. She definitely sucks for being so extreme that she needed to be thrown off a plane, but you also suck for not sticking with her. You're going to marry her.
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even consider everyone sucks here because of the way the question was phrased.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like there wasn't another side to this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I almost feel like we knew she was an asshole. The question was, is he? And in my brain, I did not even equate whether or not I should also call her one, because that was set in stone.
Everyone sucks here. Obviously, she is the asshole for her behavior, but to ignore her and pretend you don't know her, yikes. There is no coming back from that.
Yeah, there you go. I think that person has the same opinion as me. Just, he remembered about the fiancé when he was doing his verdict.
Okay, one more comment. NTA, when people behave so badly that the police get involved, my loyalty to them disappears. She fucked up and found out. Frankly, in your shoes, I just want to get home ASAP, and she can deal with the situation she created. Please don't marry that nut job.
Okay, that commenter should never marry anyone. Can you imagine such an unreliable partner?
No! Oh, the police are like after you now for something that may or may not be your fault. I mean, in this case, it kind of was. She didn't do anything illegal, but, well, is it illegal? I don't know. But you can't just abandon your partner when police get involved.
You can't just abandon your partner when things go bad for them and go home because it's more relaxing for you. I think everyone does suck here. Your fiancé obviously sucks. And you, if you're just going to abandon her when things get bad, you're not relationship material.
Am I the asshole for not getting on a flight upon finding out that he put my kids in economy?
I mean, I guess that depends on how old the kids are. I'm assuming he means your husband or someone. But if your kids are young enough, they need an adult next to them.
So, my fiancé has 3 kids from his former marriage, whilst I have 2 from my former marriage as well. I quit my job to start focusing on getting my degree. He's become the breadwinner, if you will, although I still contribute with my savings. I also do 80% of the childcare and chores. Long story short, he wanted me and my kids to attend Thanksgiving with his family, who are located across the country, and we were supposed to go yesterday, ahead of time to get a rental place. He booked our flights and everything, but later, before the flight, I found out that he, his kids, and myself were put in first class, whilst my 2 kids, 14 and 10, were put in economy.
Okay, that is a big red flag. What do you mean his kids are up in first class with you? I thought maybe the whole gaggle was shoved back in economy. And, like, the 14-year-old can survive a flight by themselves. 10, I don't know if you should be separating them from the parents there.
I feel like 10 is old enough. I think a lot of kids fly by themselves at 10.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they couldn't survive the flight. I just, like, if parent is on the flight,
It'd be nice to sit with them.
it'd be nice in case they need something.
But anyways, it seems like this isn't so much to do with their ages and more to do with they're his stepkids and not his real children, so they do not deserve first class.
Yeah, and that is a huge red flag on someone that is your fiancé.
I was stunned. He acted like it was no big deal and told us it's just a few hours and the kids could just hang in there for a little while. I asked how he could think this was acceptable, and he got mad and said he's the one paying for tickets, then we go by his rules. I immediately turned around and took the kids and made my way out of the airport. He started following us, screaming at me to go back, but I refused and told him that I no longer felt like spending Thanksgiving with his folks after this. My youngest cried because she has never flown without me.
Okay, him chasing after you and screaming when he didn't get his way is also big red flag behavior. I'm not liking this guy.
He went with his kids, me and my kids are home. He has not stopped calling, trying to berate me, and even had his mom text that I needed to get over myself and stop teaching my kids to be spoiled and entitled.
His spoiled little brats were in first class. I don't think I've ever flown first class in my entire life.
I haven't either, but I haven't flown very much.
Yeah, me neither. But still, like, I'm usually in the economy section just by default because I'm not willing to spend on it.
I think I've gone on 4 trips on airplanes, so 8 airplane rides.
Yeah, and maybe if we were flying, like, overseas, I might splurge on the tickets.
I don't know. I think it's so expensive. I could not justify spending thousands of dollars to upgrade to first class.
I don't actually know off the top of my head how much the upgrade costs. I think the farthest I've ever flown was from,
Detroit to Seattle?
And no, I was going to say Detroit to Anchorage.
Oh, okay.
But that was back in grade school, so I don't remember it.
Mother-in-law said that the fact I was willing to miss Thanksgiving with the family over something so trivial shows my real character and personality and mindset, or lack thereof. I've not replied, but I feel horrible. Am I the asshole? Should I have just let it slide and went? In case I wasn't clear, me and the kids left our family hometown so we could go celebrate with his family in his hometown. My kids weren't too excited leaving their grandparents for a week or so. There's an update, but what do you think?
Okay, I mean, you are in solid, not the asshole territory here, and your husband is in major asshole territory. Why is he treating your kids like they're lesser than his kids? Your fiancés. It's not even like you're just dating. Your fiancés. He should be planning on these becoming his kids soon.
Yeah, there's definitely red flags about not treating the kids equal here.
And mother-in-law's calling and berating you, which is never good. Once the mother-in-law joins in the bullying of the fiancé or the girlfriend, ditch that family immediately.
Top comment, NTA. His kids in first class, your kids in economy? That is a bad sign for the future. Then his response is to berate you, and future mother-in-law calling your kids spoiled and entitled? Even worse. It would not have ended here. I would be done with that relationship.
Yeah, it just really shows how he feels about your kids, in my opinion.
Another comment, no, you are right and not the asshole. Either all kids fly one way or no dice. If you can afford first class for 4, you can afford first class for 6, or all fly economy if you don't want the kids to feel entitled. He has clearly shown where your kids rate to him, especially over his kids. You may want to rethink marriage to an asshole like that.
Yeah, I really can't think of any situations where it's okay to separate the kids like this. Even if there had, not been enough first class seats available, I don't think sending her kids into the back was the correct solution.
No, you gotta do something like draw straws. Make the kids draw straws.
Or send the 2 oldest back that can survive on their own better.
NTA. First strike. Wrong for him to segregate your kids downward. Second strike. Wrong for him to seat minor children away from a parent without that parent's knowledge. Last strike. That he and his mother have teamed up to attack you. That this guy or his family doesn't even consider any of his actions wrong and are doubling down instead is a huge red flag. He is not marriage material. His sense of entitlement and control, along with his poor communication skills, will make for a lot more situations like this as your kids grow and transition into adulthood. Sorry you got a bad lemon. No lemonade to be made here.
Yeah, I know in just like the last story we were saying, well, you can't judge the fiancé based off of one thing. I think this fiancé you can judge just off of one thing.
Yeah, this seems like a big thing, right?
Yeah, this is not a little thing. Not that the other one was a little thing, but this is a big thing.
The deeper issue here isn't about economy class versus business class. It's about financial control. My money, my rules is a quick pathway to financial abuse. You did the right thing by choosing my kids, my choice. Also, the raised voice, the refusal to even consult with you first, and the implication of how he views your kids, all of these are red flags, OP. NTA.
Yeah, they made a lot of good points there. This does sound like trying to control OP through money. And it's not great that you put your foot down and his response was to scream and chase you through the airport.
Okay, on to the update. I'm currently getting myself and the kids packed, so we will go stay with my mother. This has happened before in other instances, but I kept thinking to myself, this is not right, but I have invested too much time and effort in this relationship, so maybe this shouldn't get in the way. And I'd try to minimize most situations where I find my kids being put last. Not only that, but he tried to give me an ultimatum regarding getting my degree, and what was my response? This isn't right. But I kept making light of it and letting go. Now he's probably bad-mouthing me to the whole family, and so is his mom, bless her effing heart. The kids and I are leaving. He'll be coming back to an empty home. Except he'll find some company with the engagement ring that I took off and left on the nightstand. Distance and some reevaluation is needed right now. Thank you to all who reached out with helpful input and perspectives. You're right. My kids come first, and that's what I keep trying to do, and I hope I won't ever fail. Thank you so much for the support.
What was the degree ultimatum, you think?
I don't know, but it can't be anything good, right?
Yeah, it sounds like there were other red flags outside of this one event, but thank goodness that once he started bullying your children, OP's like, actually, you know what? I now see the problem.
Oh, someone in the comments did ask, how old are his kids? Because if they're a lot younger, that might make more sense, like they can't be separated from the parents.
Oh, that is a good point. I did not consider that maybe his kids were really young.
Nope, 12 and 15, very close to her 10 and 14.
Actually, they're older, so they'd be better equipped to handle sitting in economy.
So OP continues in that comment answering how old her fiancé's kids are. He says he paid, then he gets to decide who gets what, but he seems to forget that I'm juggling both childcare, yes, that includes doing everything for his kids, and household chores, while studying as well. So I think that it's unfair to say that just because I don't bring in any money, then I don't get to have a say in his decisions, specifically decisions like this.
Yeah, at the beginning when she was kind of breaking down their responsibility split, you know, she said, I'm a full-time student, but I handle most of the childcare. I'm like, yeah, I mean, that sounds fair.
And she is still contributing with her savings, so he's not even 100% the only income.
Right, so at the beginning, that did seem like a fair split they were doing to me. You know, and she'll bring in more money, presumably, once she gets a better job with that degree. But apparently, he is using it as a chance to exhibit some really controlling behavior.
Yeah, he is waving a lot of red flags, and I'm so glad that she got out of this because he seems super controlling and, like, not good to her kids.
Yeah, good for OP. You really gotta protect your kids. And he should have thought of these as his kids, too, or what is the point of getting engaged to someone?
Hey, if you're enjoying this episode so far, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, it really helps us out, and it lets us know we should keep making more fun content like this for you.
Am I the asshole for boarding a plane without my sister and leaving her and her kids behind?
I mean, I suppose you're not responsible for your sister, and she is there to take care of her own kids. So probably not?
I, 21 female, am currently going to college in the same town my sister, 27 female, and her family live in. We are about a 6-hour flight from my hometown where our parents and extended family live. We had planned on all flying back to our hometown for Thanksgiving a few days ago. For some background, my brother-in-law, who I'll call Bill, is an alcoholic. Any kind of event where alcohol is provided or purchasable ends with him getting in fights and causing issues. He yells, throws things, and gets generally aggressive.
Oh, that's great.
My sister arrived at the airport before me, and when I arrived at the gate an hour and a half before boarding, he was nowhere to be found, and my sister was struggling to keep track of 3 small children and all their luggage.
Yeah, she's 27, so these must be awfully small children.
He did not come check on them once in the entire hour and a half, and I only saw him when he came staggering over to the waiting area when it was time to board. As soon as my sister started talking to him, he started to get loud and aggressive. I watched from the boarding line, we were in different groups, and it escalated to the point where security confronted him. My sister waved me over and I got out of line. She told me that they weren't going to allow him to fly and that she needed help.
Yeah, they don't let you fly if you're too drunk, right? Well, I mean, he's aggressive and drunk, but just being drunk is a reason for not being allowed on the plane, right?
Yeah, I think if you are, like, wasted, they will not let you on.
In this case, though, I can understand why they did not let him on.
Do not want an aggressive drunk on a flight. I asked if I should take Bill's seat so I could sit next to one of the kids and not leave her alone on a long flight with all three. She was confused and repeated that Bill couldn't fly with us. I asked if she was going to stay behind and sort his shit out, and she said yes. I told her in that case I probably couldn't help her. Her kids are all 6 and under, 6, 3, and 9 months, and would need her. My sister was still confused and then told me that she expected me to stay behind and help her deal with her husband and kids.
Ooh, that makes this one interesting because I actually don't care what happens to the husband. He's an adult and he's being a drunk asshole. He can wander off for all I care. But she's got 3 kids under 6 that she does need help with, and she's got a lot of luggage to juggle. I don't know. I feel like I would get off the plane and help my sibling, but I have a very close relationship to my sibling.
But also, why is your sibling staying behind with the husband? Shouldn't she just get on the plane, too, with the kids, and you all go together without the husband? Because you have to rebook. I don't know how this works. If you miss a flight, do you just have to eat that cost, or can you, rebook and get some of your money back?
I don't know about every circumstance, but I get the feeling that if you miss a flight because you were being a drunk asshole near the security boarding gate, you probably have to eat the cost.
And then that means that OP will have to eat the cost. She's a college student. She probably doesn't have a lot of money.
Yeah, I feel like if I got off the plane in this situation where I'm a college student flying home for the holidays, I just wouldn't end up going home for the holidays because that was my money I had set aside for that.
And are you willing to give up going home to see your parents and extended family to stay and help your sister?
I don't know. It really depends on your relationship with the sister. I feel like my choice would just be get off the plane, help her with the kids, and hold a grudge against Bill until one of us is dead. And spend the whole time telling her to get a better husband. Or no husband. No husband is also good in this option.
No husband might be better in this instance. But back to the story. I told her no, traveling around the holidays is insane. There likely wouldn't be enough open seats for us to get a later flight if Bill is even still going to be allowed to fly at all. I was excited to see our family, and her kids were not my responsibility. She got upset and told me that she didn't know what to do with her husband, and if he couldn't fly, or worse, she didn't know how she'd handle it. I told her it was not my problem. Bill isn't a child that needs supervision, and it's not her job to deal with him throwing a tantrum and getting in trouble with security.
Yeah, I'm going to assume from the way this conversation is going that she is not as close to her sister as we are to our sisters.
No, and she definitely hates Bill.
Oh, yeah, fuck Bill.
I'm not staying to help Bill. You can stay and help Bill if you want, but I'm not staying to help Bill. Or to help you help Bill.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is I feel like I would get off the plane to help my sister. It's unfortunate that part of that help is helping Bill. But I might use it as a chance to strongly recommend that either Bill gets in a program for this problem or she find a better living situation.
I told her we could just board the plane and leave him to face the consequences of his own actions. She said he is her responsibility. I told her that if she knows how he is when he drinks, and that if he was her responsibility, she should have done something to prevent this, and that the situation she was in was all on her. She chose to marry an alcoholic man, not me. I wouldn't be missing my family for Thanksgiving because her husband can't hold his liquor. I boarded the flight and she stayed behind. My family was happy I made it, but many of them called me insensitive for what I said, and my mom was particularly mad that I didn't stay and support my sister. Am I the asshole?
I think that you're not the asshole here. You aren't responsible for your sister. You definitely aren't responsible for Bill. And you really wanted to go home for the holidays. Having said that, I think that your family is also very justified in calling you a bit of an asshole for ditching your sister. Because family should be all about, hey, you should support each other. That's the point of family. And you just ditched one of them on the holidays, no less.
Yeah, I feel like this is the one where, yeah, technically you're not the asshole. You are not responsible for any of these people. And you're younger than them and a poor college student. But it's your sister. Even though you're not responsible for her, you should try and help her, right?
Right. And do you think that her parents paid for her poor college student airplane ticket?
I don't know. No mention of who paid for what is ever talked about, so.
Because I think when I was a broke college student, if mom and dad had paid for my airplane ticket, or if I had paid for my airplane ticket, would have weighed heavily into my decision.
Oh, yeah. That money is I'm not wasting my precious money for your drunk husband. But mom and dad's money, I might be more willing to waste.
And now that I'm older and, have had jobs, that is not good logic. But at college Josh probably would have factored that in. So I really feel like you're not the asshole on paper and by the word of the law. But depending on family circumstances, you might be a bit the asshole. But that's your family's judgment. I'm interested to find out what Reddit thinks about this. I mean, I think they're going to say not the asshole, but I feel like there might be perspectives that I didn't foresee.
Not the asshole is the overwhelming Reddit response. NTA, why should you give up your holiday because he's an alcoholic? In fact, why should your sister and nibblings have to as well? She should have joined you on the flight home and let her husband figure it out. He's an adult. He can suffer the consequences of his actions. For those calling you insensitive, ask them, would they be refunding your ticket because of your brother-in-law's behavior? Would they give up their holiday for a drunk man's shenanigans? Most likely, the answer is going to no.
I don't know. Once again, I only have my family and to a certain extent your family to go off of here. But if we had to get off of an airplane to help a family member, even if it was their fault, I might be able to rely on them to help recoup some of those costs.
Yeah, I feel like even if our sisters didn't pay us back for the money, our parents would pay us and be like, thank you for helping your sister, and like give us back the money for the airplane ticket.
Yeah, and then as a collective family, we might sit sister down and try to open her eyes to what a crappy husband she has.
Time for an intervention.
Yeah, it's time for an intervention either way for both Bill and your sister. Something has to change in that relationship.
Another comment, you didn't marry him, he's not your responsibility, NTA. Someone replied, I don't get why the sister didn't take her 3 children and simply abandon the man baby. And someone replied to that, I mean, that was the obvious answer. Maybe after being left to stew in a jail, that drunk bum might learn. Or not. Either way, the sister has a huge problem, and enabling him to continue to drink destructively will not end well for anyone. And she's not thinking of the kids.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I would abandon a spouse that was acting like this again. But the problem is, you're not a alcoholic or a chronic, fighter of people.
I'm not belligerent.
Yeah, you're not belligerent. So, yeah, pretty much if you did anything, I would get off the damn plane and help you with it. But Bill has a lot of strikes on his record, it sounds like.
Yeah, this is another one of those, he's being drunk and belligerent again. At what point do you just leave him to his own devices and stop babying him?
When it's the last straw, I suppose.
And I guess sister has not gotten to that point yet, because she is like, no, of course I'm not going without him. I'm getting off to stay and help him.
Right. So once again, OP is not the asshole for not wanting to deal with Bill again. But yeah, it's time to talk to Sis about this.
NTA, take pains to not travel on the same flight as them in the future. Him being an alcoholic is not your problem.
Yeah, that might be the best solution right there. If you don't want to deal with Bill's antics, just take a different flight. Take yourself out of their terrible equation.
Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my daughter's plane ticket, but paying for my youngest daughter, who this vacation is dedicated to?
I mean, I guess it depends on how old these daughters are, but no, you're allowed to pay for whoever's plane ticket you want.
I have 2 daughters named Kate, 23 female, and Alexa, 16 female. For starters, Kate lives with me rent-free and bill-free. She used to live with her mother full-time, but her mom kicked her out at 18. I don't blame her mother, though. Kate was absolutely terrible in her teenage years. She was rude, disrespectful, would steal, smoke, skip class, etc. Kate barely finished high school and was put in a continuation school. Since this, though, Kate is doing a lot better. She didn't want to go to college, but she works at a fast food restaurant and is saving up for her own apartment.
It's not what OP asked about, but your ex-wife is definitely the asshole for kicking someone out at 18. I don't care how much of a problem kid they are. That's never okay behavior.
Yeah, it's like they're your kid. Just because they hit 18 doesn't mean your responsibility towards them ends, I don't think. 18 is so young to be out on your own and trying to find a job in your own place to live.
Yeah, and if your minor child is acting up, chances are you are partially to blame for that. I will add in, though, it sounds like his other daughter is a minor who he is financially responsible for, so that also adds into the not the asshole. He is obligated to pay for her.
Alexa, the 16-year-old, on the other hand, is the opposite. She's amazing in school, works, volunteers, and still has time to do sports and clubs. I'm extremely proud of her, and I feel as if she puts too much pressure on herself. Me and my girlfriend decided to surprise her on a vacation. Alexa has always wanted to go there, and it wasn't as pricey as we expected.
Sorry, is Alexa also the daughter of his ex-wife?
I don't think he ever specifically says, but I think yes.
See, I was leaning towards no because it sounds like Alexa lives with him.
And Kate lived with her mom until she was 18, so maybe they have different mothers. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe his girlfriend is the mom, but I guess we'll just go without knowing.
I told Kate about the vacation and asked if she wanted to come, but she would have to pay her own ticket. She said yes and would give me the money before Halloween. Well, she never gave me the money, even after being reminded, so I booked the trip November 1st for the 18th to 21st of November. I told my daughter this Sunday at dinner, and she was very excited. Kate then said, "You'll have to cancel and hope they refund. I work those days."
Okay, Kate is 23. Sometimes your parents are going to go on vacation without you when you're 23.
I told her she wasn't coming since she didn't pay. She was confused and thought I was paying for her. I told her that she was an adult who worked and lived free. Why would I pay? She got upset and said because I'm her daughter and that I was paying for Alexa, so why not her? An argument then happened, which resulted in Alexa and Kate crying and Kate saying she hated me. Kate has been ignoring us until we apologize and pay her ticket, which I won't. Well, yesterday, Alexa sent me a link to a video on TikTok where it showed Kate crying and explaining the situation. But she lied about a lot of things in the videos and made Alexa and I look like the bad guys. The video got a lot of attention and support. She even opened up a GoFundMe where she received close to $500.
That is a really funny move, to open up a GoFundMe when you don't get to go on vacation. Sorry, I get amusement out of it at least. Because I'm not related to any of these people.
I showed my girlfriend and we were both livid. Alexa was also very upset about the comments, which fueled my anger. When she came home, a huge argument broke out and I basically kicked her out for the week. She's been posting on social media platforms talking about me, my daughter, and my girlfriend. My daughter even got some nasty messages on her social media. My girlfriend told me I'm right on this, but my daughter told me to just pay for her ticket. I want to know if I'm doing the right decision, so help. Am I the asshole?
No, you're not the asshole. You're giving your 23-year-old daughter free room and board. That seems like very nice behavior. I don't think you are obligated to give her a free vacation on top of that. She should have some savings if she really wants to go on vacation.
Well, she does work fast food job, so she's probably not earning a whole lot, but she also doesn't have to pay rent or for food or bills or anything. So yeah, you think she would have some savings.
Yeah, once she pays for, I guess, gas and car, maybe, it's 100% going into her bank account there.
However, I will say, have you ever taken Kate on a vacation before? Or has she never been on, I feel like this is like something where you have to have kind of equal vacations for your kids while they're minors.
I mean, she's not a minor.
And she's not a minor anymore, but did she get to go on a vacation when she was a minor? Alexa is now getting to go on a vacation when she's 16?
I could see that a little bit. Is OP just blatantly treating Alexa like she's the golden child from his description?
It sounds like yes, because she actually is a lot more responsible sounding. Yeah,
it sounds like Kate was a bit of a handful during her teenage years. And OP did blatantly say she's, Alexa is the opposite and she's wonderful in every way. Still, I think she's an adult. It sucks if she didn't get a vacation as a kid, but you're not obligated to give her one.
I will say I nagged my parents for years because they took my sisters to Disney World when I was 18 months old and left me at home with grandma. And I was always like, Katie and Carly got to go to Disney World 3 times and I've only been twice. And I was like, you should take me again when my sisters were in college. We didn't end up going to Disney World, but they did take me on another vacation to somewhere cool. I don't remember. We went somewhere and did hiking and stuff. And they were like, this is to make up for your Disney World trip you missed out on. Because I would occasionally bring it up over the years, kind of, half jokingly, but hey, Take me to Disney World.
half jokingly.
Okay.
Half serious.
90, yeah, half joking, half serious, maybe a little more serious. I want to go to Disney World, okay?
Held that grudge since you were 18 months old.
I did.
Like, I get that Kate is upset. It sucks that she can't afford to go on this vacation. But I think the free room and board says a lot about the fact that you are doing things for her and helping her get established as an adult. Also, it's just completely asshole behavior to make a TikTok and air your family's dirty laundry while apparently lying about your family's dirty laundry.
Yeah, that is definitely not cool.
And it sounds like she either didn't keep things anonymous or she somehow doxed her younger minor sister.
Super not cool.
Kate's displaying a lot of asshole behavior here.
I do kind of feel like if Kate had any sort of validity to her arguments about why you should pay for her plane ticket, her then going onto social media and like airing all of your drama and stuff definitely negates anything she had going in her favor.
Has Kate never heard the phrase, don't bite the hand that feeds you?
Yeah, she's like really burning bridges here.
Yeah, OP only kicked her out for a week, but she is 23. Like, OP could have kicked her out in a more permanent sense. And she got $500. That's her reward for lighting all these fires within the family group.
I just can't imagine starting a GoFundMe for a vacation. I wouldn't even think people would donate to that. I'm amazed she got $500.
You know what? I am constantly amazed by the type of GoFundMes that people are actually willing to donate to. Having said that, support the Josh and Kristie GoFundMe. We don't need anything. We just want money.
People are now going to expect you to have a GoFundMe. Are you ready to set one up?
I will not set one up. If you're going to donate to something, donate to a better cause than two losers who do a social media show.
On that note, we really appreciate when you guys give us super thanks.
Or just watching. I like the ad revenue.
Top comment, NTA. One daughter is over 18 and has a job. The other is under 18 and in school. It is entirely reasonable to expect one to be able to pay her own way while paying for the one who hasn't had any opportunity to make money for herself. The fact that Kate is willing to lie about you and her sister on the internet for sympathy and money should tell you something about her character. You could even report the GoFundMe as being fraudulent.
Yeah, you could. Or maybe Kate has accidentally discovered her calling because it sounds like she's very charismatic in front of a camera. Maybe she needs to work on this influencer angle a little. She's got free room and board. Probably still.
In a week, she will.
Yeah, in a week, she'll have it again. So, sounds like she could try to make a career out of being an influencer. If she got $500 just for telling a sob story, she's apparently good at storytelling. She's got good presence in front of a camera. That's probably not good advice to give to somebody, like, hey, why don't you become an influencer? But I don't know, I'm making my money off social media, so just don't take advice from me, I guess.
Don't take advice from you, but...
Yeah, no, I got lucky.
Oh, okay. I was like, don't take advice from you, but you're actually kind of earning money at this.
Yeah, I mean, but luck is a factor, and the fact that I worked in digital media behind the camera for 15 years before we got out here.
Kind of think this is Everyone Sucks here. Her reaction is pretty bad, but it kind of seems like you're stacking the deck against her for past behavior a bit when they're both your daughters. Mentioning about how Kate was absolutely terrible as a child, even though you admit she's doing way better now. While you're extremely proud of Alexa when that's not really relevant to the story is a pretty big tell. I'd be pretty upset too if I felt like my parents were totally favoring my younger sibling.
Yeah, I caught that vibe too, and I know that she's 23 and the other one is 16, but it does sound like maybe this has been going on for a while.
Also, while sure 23 is an adult, it's hardly some unusual event for a 23-year-old to still be living at home while they save up for their own place. It's nice that you're letting her live there rent-free, but she's not some random tenant, she's a part of your family, and probably, I would say rightfully, feels incredibly hurt that you're all going on vacation without her. You're obviously within your rights to say she has to pay her own way, and her reaction is immature, but you might want to look in the mirror a little bit as to why her reaction is what it is.
Yeah, I feel like if a parent and a child are fighting to this extent, it's never a bad idea to recommend both parties to step back, look in the mirror, and just double check that you're not also a little bit the asshole. Tempers are up. Everybody's mad. Take a deep breath.
Am I the asshole for not staying after our niece got arrested?
Are like half of your stories about people being arrested, Kristie?
Yeah, arrested at an airport. I mean, what kind of airplane drama were you expecting?
You know what? That is kind of a good point. That is the expected end resort of airplane drama. Once again, depends entirely on how old your niece is.
So, we were all going to be flying back from a family member's wedding. A bunch of us were on the same flight that got canceled. We were able to get tickets for another flight that had a layover. My sister sneakily got a flight on a direct flight. She basically left us with her 17-year-old daughter because she said she had to get back home for work. We know she didn't tell us because she knew we would not have agreed. She knows we all think her daughter is a pain in the ass.
Whoa, hold on. You don't get to just ditch your 17-year-old kid. What is that? I gotta get back to work? Fuck off. You don't get to go to work and leave your 17-year-old daughter in, what was it, another state? Somewhere far enough away that you need an airplane to get home at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, and she's leaving her with family, like extended family, but that's your daughter.
And you didn't tell the extended family that you were leaving her with them.
Until it was too late.
Yeah, you just ran.
But anyway, with no other options, we took her with us to the airport, and she was her moody, difficult self the whole time.
Gonna be honest with you, I would be moody and difficult if Mom ditched me, too.
While we were waiting in the airport during our layover, she got up to supposedly go to the restroom. Well, when she got back, the airport police came up and she got arrested for shoplifting.
Okay, cool.
The police said that since she was 17, she would be charged as an adult there and transferred to the county jail. They said that she could be out tomorrow, or it could take longer, depending on how busy they were. We all had our own places to be and were tired from dealing with travel stuff. Most everyone, notably besides me, had younger kids that were also tired and cranky. No one wanted to change their flight again and get a hotel for what may be multiple nights, so they could stay and wait for her. At this point, to be honest, we were just fed up with her. We talked to the police about it, and they said it would be okay if we took our flight. So we relayed the information to my sister over text.
Okay. I hate you, I hate your sister, and I hate your entire family. What do you mean you ditched a 17-year-old in a strange location after she got arrested? I know she shouldn't have got arrested, but you can't ditch a minor member of your family that you were responsible for at the time.
They're taking her to the county jail. Like, be there and try and get her out ASAP.
Yeah. Call a lawyer. Try and help, because for some reason, these asshole cops have decided to try her as an adult.
I can't imagine going through this as a 17-year-old. Like, you do something stupid, your mom left you, so you're acting out, and you do a little shoplifting. Not great, obviously. But you get arrested, and they're going to try you as an adult, and the rest of your family ditches you, and you're left in this strange place all by yourself, going to jail.
I can't even imagine that. The bad day that this 17-year-old is having, and to be fair, a lot of it is self-inflicted at the end there, but your mom ditched you, you got in trouble for something you did, and then the cops decide to try you as an adult. I'm going to just make a statement here. Don't try 17-year-olds as adults.
For shoplifting? I don't know. At an airport.
For shoplifting?
I mean, do they really need to take her to the jail and keep her overnight? It sounds like they're not going to let her out until tomorrow at the earliest. Like, that's traumatizing for a 17-year-old.
I mean, she did steal something.
Yes.
So she does need to be, receive some sort of punishment for that. But her family has essentially abandoned her.
I feel like this is something where they need to take her to jail and, book her, but not, release her to her family immediately because she's a minor.
Yeah. Apparently the police don't see it that way. These are some scummy-ass cops. Fuck these cops, too. Fuck everyone in this story.
My sister was upset and demanded that someone stay, and we couldn't just abandon her there.
Like she did.
By the way, we did check to see, and there were multiple flights my sister could take to get there by tomorrow. She said she couldn't because she had work.
Oh my God, what do you mean you had work? Go take care of your child.
We said, so do we, but that was it before we got on our flight. So when we got home, my sister was freaking out because we all left, even though she said she had work. She is now mostly just mad at me for leaving since I didn't even have kids like the others, and she thinks my work is much more flexible compared to hers, and they would have believed if I had just lied about flight issues or used more days off. Am I the asshole?
You're such an asshole, and I feel like I'm going to just occasionally think about this story in my life from now on and think about how much I hate you.
You're just going to be mad about this story forever.
Yes. The niece was acting out, and I fully understand it now because her entire family sucks so much.
I'm like, she's probably just doing it for attention. You know, teenagers do stuff like that, you know, and because she's not getting any attention from her mother. Her mother's like, bye, see you later.
Yeah.
I don't care if you make it home safe. Good luck.
Yeah, you know what? I hope she gets a good enough lawyer that will call Child Protective Services and push as much of this as possible onto you and onto her mother. Okay? She was acting out because her family hates her. You could really play this up with a sympathetic judge, right?
Yeah, I really feel like you could.
Sorry, this has got me really heated. I hate every adult in this story.
What I'm learning today is that Reddit does not feel as responsible for extended family as we do.
Oh my God, is Reddit going to have the balls to say not the asshole?
Yes, they are. Everybody says NTA.
What? I don't care if she's almost 18 and almost an adult. You need to take care of your family, and you don't get to just use that as an excuse.
Right? Like, our nephew is 17, and I can't imagine abandoning him somewhere and like in another state, getting arrested. I would be like panicked just as much as his mother probably would be, which in this case, it doesn't sound like the mom was even panicking about her daughter getting arrested, but about how she needed to miss work to go sort this out. But no, I would be so panicked. I would be trying to get our nephew out of jail as quickly as possible. It's okay. We'll sort it out. I'm coming with you. I'll save you.
Yeah, they're all going to be so surprised when she goes completely no contact at 18.
Top comment, NTA, what's she mad about? For abandoning her own daughter? Or raising her so poorly that as a teen, she's shoplifting in an airport? The worst place to try it because of increased security.
So, okay, hold on, sorry. Are a lot of these not the assholes going to be comparing OP's asshole levels to sister's asshole levels and not the literal child that they both abandoned?
All of the comments definitely think the sister is a huge asshole for abandoning her child, but they also think the niece is an asshole for shoplifting.
Yeah, everyone sucks here. I can change it to everyone sucks here because every single person in this story sucks. But you don't ditch a minor that you're related to. Come on.
Even if the person responsible for them has already ditched them, then you especially don't ditch them. They can't be alone.
No, you don't ditch them, and you consider calling Child Protective Services on your sister.
Sister's probably also mad OP doesn't have kids. Just because you don't have kids doesn't mean you have to drop everything for someone else's kids. Wild take. I mean, I don't have kids, but I still drop everything for my nieces and nephews.
Right? I was thinking the same thing. If my nieces or nephews needed me, yeah, I'll drop everything for them.
Yeah, one time my sister called me and was like, my husband needs to take me to the emergency room. Can you come watch the kids? I was like, give me 2 minutes and I will be out the door and on my way over.
Right. That's just what you do in a supportive family. And it sounds like this family only cares about themselves. I was tired, so I abandoned my niece.
We were all tired from a long day of traveling and just wanted to get home.
No, you're an adult. You should find a motel and call lawyers.
NTA, your sister deserted her child and intended to continue to do so even after her child was arrested. She has no grounds to be judging anyone else.
Yeah, see that one too. They're comparing OP's asshole levels to sister's asshole levels. Yeah, sister is a complete asshole and an unfit parent. But that does not excuse OP's assholeness at all.
Someone kind of agrees with you. What kind of childhood do you think the daughter has had? OP called the daughter a pain in the ass, but her mother just snuck off and abandoned her. Do you think this is the first time that has happened to the daughter?
No, I don't think that at all. If you told me literally any bad thing that this family was doing to this girl, I would believe you without question, because you are just the worst group of people in my opinion right now.
How unloved the teen must feel or have felt her whole life. It's heartbreaking.
It really is.
You can't abandon the child, but the mother can. NTA, she's 17, not 7. The mom can fly back out within hours.
I'm sorry, what was that logic? Mom already abandoned the kid, so you can do it too. I'm mad at the commenters too, apparently.
Someone says, potentially the niece can be bailed out via internet and can Uber to the airport and go to the gate for whatever ticket mom sends. There might not be a need at all for travel. Are you kidding? I couldn't have done that as a 17-year-old.
I probably could have, but I'd have been scared and confused the whole time.
Yes. I don't think that's a nice thing to make a 17-year-old do. They've already been arrested and are scared.
Doesn't an adult have to come and check a minor out of jail?
Well, if they're charging her as not a minor, maybe not. I don't know.
That's true.
I don't know the rules.
That's true. They're in some backwards hellscape where they just decide that people are going to be adults for, because the cops suck. Like, just the way that the cops phrased that they were going to try her as an adult, it's not like they're in some location where 17 counts as an adult, right? I very solidly interpreted that as we're going to be assholes here.
They do not say if this is like in the US or anywhere, but I kind of assumed it was.
Just because OP said they're going to try her as an adult made me think, well, it's not given that she's an adult.
NTA, tell your sister that she abandoned her daughter at the airport and only has herself to blame. All the extra hassle amounts to every single bit of trouble belonging to her coming home to roost. She can scream and gnash her teeth, but everyone knows this is solely on her. It was her duty to be with her daughter to begin with, and it is her duty to make sacrifices for her daughter. Now she needs her mother to help take care of her mess. Projecting onto you means nothing. No one is buying any of it. She can go point fingers and rant into a mirror and leave you out of it.
See, that's another one where they're just kind of... Mom ditched her daughter. That's huge asshole behavior. No one's arguing against that. And then this happened. I feel like this is two situations.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't get to go, well, this happened over here, so you're immune from being an adult.
This is 100% the sister's fault, and I would be so mad at her.
Oh, absolutely.
That
I'd be so
I had
mad.
to stay and take care of getting your daughter out of jail and everything. I'd be so mad at her. But I would do it.
Yeah, because that's what good family does, and it sounds like this girl does not have a good family. And I hope every single adult in this story, at some point in the next week, stubs their toe really badly on a coffee table.
Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my girlfriend's plane ticket after she decided to stay longer on her trip without me?
Why does everyone keep splitting up? You're not the asshole if she's just going to take extra vacation without you for some reason. She can pay for extra vacation.
My girlfriend of 2 years, 27 female, and I, 28 male, planned a 2-week vacation to Italy. I paid for flights, hotels, everything, because I make more than she does, and I wanted it to be a stress-free trip for both of us. Everything was great until the last day when she tells me she wants to stay longer to find herself and think about our relationship without me.
Sorry, what? After the vacation, she wants to find herself and think about if this relationship is worth pursuing?
Yep.
Oh my God, okay.
She didn't discuss this with me beforehand, and it completely blindsided me. I was hurt and told her if she feels she needs time alone, then she should also be independent financially during this extension of her trip. I said I wouldn't be paying for her new return ticket whenever she decides to come back. Now she's upset, calling me unsupportive and selfish, and some of our friends are saying I'm being an a-hole because I left her stranded in a foreign country without financial help.
You didn't leave her stranded. You said, here's a plane ticket. Get on the plane if you want to come.
So Reddit, am I the asshole for refusing to pay for her new plane ticket home after she chose to extend her trip without any heads up? There's an update, but tell me what you think.
No, it's crazy to start a sentence with, I need to think about our relationship, and then end it with asking for money. Especially because she didn't pay for this trip up to this point. Presumably, she has savings.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm okay paying for a vacation that we are sharing, but if you're here alone, that this is a solo vacation for you, and it's on you to pay for it.
Yeah, you know what? I was all prepped to say not the asshole for not wanting to pay for your girlfriend to have extra vacation after you go home. Apparently, she might not even be your girlfriend at the end of this extra vacation.
Yeah, so why should you pay for it if she's thinking about breaking up with you, it sounds like? I need to find myself and think about our relationship.
Yeah.
That's not something you want to hear, and you're not going to pay for someone to do that on your dime.
Yeah, I am not going to pay for my potential ex-girlfriend to backpack around Italy and decide if she wants to come back to me. I have a little more self-respect than that.
Top comment, NTA, she can find herself on her own dime. That's reasonable and fair. And then they quote when he said, she's upset, calling me unsupportive and selfish. You have been supportive and unselfish. You didn't complain or become difficult. You respected her decision to stay and find herself. Supportive does not necessarily mean you have to pay for her choices. And no, you didn't strand her in a foreign country without financial help. It was her decision to stay behind. All you did was respect her decision. However, it was not your obligation to fund her decision. She's a grown woman, which means she's responsible for her choices and her financial independence. You invited her on a couples trip? Well, the couples trip is over. She decided to stay on her own? That's no longer part of the deal. She has every right to stay behind, but also has the right to pay for that out of her own pocket. Has she been manipulative before? Because red flag.
Yeah, girlfriend, when most people need to find themselves and think about the relationship, they do not have the privilege of doing it while on vacation in Italy on someone else's dime.
Someone replied to that comment agrees. Let's be honest, she could find herself at home, but she chose to stay in Italy. She had a paid-for holiday, and now she is all surprised Pikachu face that he won't fund her journey of self-exploration with a side of, I need to think about our relationship without you.
Do we just type out surprised Pikachu face instead of just surprised now?
Yeah. You need the Pikachu face so people get the visual.
I do like it. I'm not gonna lie.
NTA, it sounds like she wants to find herself with some Italian guys. This would be a very clear end of the relationship for me. I strongly suspect you have noticed her drawing away in the last few months.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's guaranteed that she wants to cheat while doing this, but it is a distinct possibility when somebody takes a vacation while on a break from a relationship. Sorry, did she say break or just think about?
Just think about. So I don't know if they're officially on a break.
Sounds like not officially on a break, but that is thin ice.
Okay, on to the update. We're both back in America now, and she's packing her shit to go stay with her family for a bit until she can find a new place. Soon after I posted, it was time to go to the airport, so I did. Without her. I'm one of those people who arrives early because I never think I'll get to the gate in time because of everything that could go wrong, probably would go wrong. It never does, but especially with how I was feeling my luck was going, I didn't want to push it. I was there for about an hour by myself, mulling things over and talking to my mom. I looked at a couple of responses to this post, but I didn't trust that I wouldn't lose it if I started responding, and I definitely didn't want to burst into tears while I was in the airport. As I was talking to my mom, my girlfriend showed up. I guess she thought I was bluffing, but had a rude awakening when the hotel staff kicked her out of the room because I'd only paid through that day. I took no small amount of satisfaction in this, not gonna lie.
Wow, she thought you were bluffing and that you just happened to pay for the hotel on your way out? That's awfully entitled right there.
She'd been so concerned about the plane ticket that she didn't even stop to think about where she was going to stay. Like, she asked him, hey, buy me a different plane ticket, but didn't even think to ask about a hotel.
I wonder which one of them is the planner in this relationship.
Obviously not her.
Right.
As many of you guessed, she met someone while we were in Italy. She was quick to tell me that it was just a physical attraction and that they hadn't done anything, but she had his at and was wanting to see if it would go anywhere. I guess that's what I get for not feeling well and wanting to stay in one night while she went out to explore.
I think that's only what you get when you're in a shitty relationship, my friend.
Obviously, I told her things were over between us. Even though she tried to make it sound like nothing had happened, the fact was, A, I couldn't feel like I could trust her when she said that, and B, I don't really want to be with someone who feels like it's okay to still keep her options open when she's been in a monogamous relationship for the last 2 years.
Yeah, trying to cheat is the same thing as cheating.
The flight home was awkward as fuck, and she tried really hard to give another pitch for why we should stay together on the drive home from the airport. I think as we got closer to home, reality started setting in, and she realized she'd just thrown a lot away.
Yeah, over just she saw a hot guy in a foreign country.
Yeah, and thought, hey, I might like that.
Yeah, got his at.
So yeah, I'm jet lagged and physically and emotionally exhausted. I'm just kind of numb at this point. Thank you to all the people who responded, especially the early ones who gave some outside verification of me probably not being the asshole. I don't feel comfortable saying I'm completely blameless here because you're only getting one side of the story and I need to take responsibility for my part in this whole thing, such as it is. But I guess I never realized how good my girlfriend was at making me feel like unreasonable shit was normal and rational and that I was the crazy one.
I mean, that sucks, OP. All I can really say is try to reverse the way you say it and be thankful it was only 2 years. That is a long time, though. That is a long relationship for her to just throw away for a fling. What were the odds that a foreign man you met once was going to turn into anything? Were you going to go live with him on day one?
I certainly hope not, but she might have been expecting that.
Right, or maybe she thought she was going to stay in the hotel on OP's dime.
NTA, I almost never go to the leave them with these posts because that is the default for too many folks here. But in this case, leave her and be done with it is the best advice.
It absolutely is. She outright admitted to trying to cheat on you. There's not really a coming back from that.
Your girlfriend sure is the asshole. The way I see it, she just used you for a trip to Italy, and then had the audacity to say she needed time to think about the two of you. In other words, she was planning to dump you all along, but she wanted a free trip.
Maybe, or this was just the hottest man in existence.
Yeah, I want to know more about this man she met. Like, how hot was he? What did she think was going to happen? Did she think they'd spend a magical week together and that he would fall so in love with her that she was just going to move in with him and stay in Italy forever? What was she thinking?
Or she was just going to have a fun weekend of freedom before she went back and settled for OP.
I don't like that.
No, it's not great.
Yeah, someone says she was going on a break so she can fuck this guy and not be cheating, then expects to get back together with money bags when she's done. So they agree that she just wanted a fun week with this Italian guy and then wanted to go back home to OP.
Yeah, that is not the type of person you want to be with long term. You are way better off, OP. I agree with that one commenter. I don't like defaulting to you should break up with this person, but in this case, you are correct to break up with this person.
That's our last story for this episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet.
Hit that subscribe button and we'll see you next time.